All right, not only are we out here spraying today, we are also scouting our crop. And I see a big problem right here. All right, what we got right here is our first pigweed of the year. These are pigweeds that have germinated since we last sprayed, broke through our residual herbicide, and apparently we had a couple go to seed in this spot last year, even though I spent a whole lot of time in this field killing all of them in our cotton crop and just trying to make sure that we didn't have a single one go to seed. You're gonna miss some, and it looks like that's what happened because we got a nice little patch here. Now these soybeans are Liberty, glyphosate, and Enlist tolerant. So I could load up with Liberty and Enlist and come out here and probably do a fair job of killing them. However, they're getting to be some big size right now. Probably wouldn't get 100% kill, and that's how you get resistant weeds to herbicides, when you don't spray them at the right time and you don't get a 100% kill. Nature will always find a way. So I could stand out here and pull all of them up, but instead I'm going to use some steel. About this time of year, we always start carrying a hoe around with us on the sprayer to get parts like this, because we have an absolute zero tolerance to pigweed in our field. We try to make sure as best as we can we don't let a single one go to seed. So I'm gonna spend the next few minutes chopping out this patch. It's not that big, and plus I could do that quicker than load up with herbicide coming out here and spraying it. And for this little small area, it ain't worth loading up and spraying them. Now, it's been said that there's no weed that's ever going to become resistant to cold steel. I beg to differ. You might not think it, but there's actually a proper technique on chopping weeds, especially pigweeds. Now, if you look right here, we got two pigweeds that I chopped. This one I chopped about a ½ inch below the ground, and this one I chopped about a ½ inch above the ground. I guarantee you I come out here this time next week and this pigweed would still be alive while this one is dead. You can tell right here, there was a branch coming out right there. That means that there's a node, there's a growing point there. And I guarantee you that this pigweed, even though all of it's chopped off, would start putting right back out from this spot right here, and then it wouldn't be dead. So this whole patch right here, if I chop all of them, but I leave a few of them just up above the ground a little bit, we're gonna have to come right back out here and do it again, because they won't all be dead. I know it's funny to think, I mean, you're just chopping weeds. I mean, how difficult can it be? I mean, there's a proper technique to just about everything, and hoeing a pigweed, you gotta do it right, or you're gonna have to do it again. I think I got them whooped pretty good. Oh, missed one right there. Something else about these pigweeds, you want your hoe to be razor sharp. You want to slice through that big tough stem, because if it snags it and pulls it up by the root, that root can reroot if there's enough moisture in the ground. These pigweeds are incredibly tough to kill. Anyway, if you're looking for a good hoe, and no, I'm not talking about that kind of hoe. This is a family-friendly channel. Get your mind out of the gutter. But if you are looking for a good hoe, I highly recommend these right here. I believe the website is www.prohoe.com. These are not your garden variety hoes that you find at Lowe's and Home Depot that are made out of pot metal. They got a nice heavy head on them, got a lot of weight behind them. They're actually made out of old disc blades, so high carbon steel, real tough. They hold a razor edge for a good long time. And let me tell you, you put a little bit of a swing behind it, it'll slice through just about everything, including your boot if you ain't careful. And no, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. They don't give me any kind of free product, but if you're looking for a good hoe, these fit the bill right here. And I prefer the ones with the curved in like that right there. They tend to slice through stuff a lot better than the ones that got a straight edge. So if you're interested in them, check them out. All right, back to spraying. Hopefully this will be our only stop of the day. But this spot is not done by any means for the year. There will be more pigweeds come up. I will have to make more trips over this spot just to make sure that none of them come up and go to seed this year. Well, with that being said, I know there's a lot of y'all out there thinking it, so feel free to insert your good hoe joke in the comment section below. All right, as Kelly Griggs would say, this morning, fun with flags again. Out here in a cotton field and got our Utrisha plots already flagged off, about to go spray them. Gonna have 4 replications each, treated, untreated, 12 rows wide. And gonna be interested to see what this stuff does on cotton. Never sprayed it on cotton before, so we got it right here by the main road that I drive down all the time, so I'll be able to hopefully I'll be able to visually see some difference every time I drive by this plot. Hopefully it's maybe a little bit taller, a little bit greener, something we can see. And something else I'm going to do on these plots, because we haven't applied our side dress nitrogen yet. That's coming later this week. I think I'm going to put a reduced rate of nitrogen on this plot just to really see if there is any extra nitrogen produced by this Utrisha bacteria. And in fact, that's something that I've really struggled with here this year, is deciding how much nitrogen I'm going to put on my cotton. Normally we apply 40 pounds of nitrogen, synthetic nitrogen, to our cotton crop, and that's all we apply. And debating on even going even lower, because I'm having such a hard time shutting this cotton down at the end of the season. With our soil health, it just wants to keep on going. But we had a pretty big monkey wrench in our plans this year. In fact, that we didn't apply any chicken litter because we couldn't get it. We applied some chicken litter to our corn ground, but very little to our cotton ground. So I never really knew how much nitrogen we got from the chicken litter. I just know that with the chicken litter and the cover crops, plus 40 pounds of nitrogen, that was all the nitrogen that we wanted on our crop this year. But taking that away, I probably need to bump my nitrogen up a little bit. Do I bump it up to 50 pounds an acre, 55, 60? I just don't know. And the other monkey wrench in our plans is that we had such a healthy cover crop as a result of the very poor corn crop we had last year. There was a lot of extra nitrogen in the soil that the cover crop then took up, and it's now stored in this biomass. How much of that nitrogen is going to be released this season for the cotton crop? What time is it going to be released for the cotton crop? All this is stuff that I don't know. And I know probably what a lot of y'all are saying, well, just put the nitrogen out there. Plants love nitrogen. I mean, yeah, they do, but you can get in a problem with cotton with too much nitrogen. It just wants to focus on vegetative growth rather than reproductive growth. And that is something we do not want this year whatsoever. We're out here in some of our last replanted cotton, and you know, we're about a week away from July 4th. You know, we should be hunting for our first bloom in the next 10 days or so. This cotton not anywhere close to blooming, not anywhere close at all. In fact, last week we made our last thrip spraying on this cotton. That's how far behind it is. And you can see it's starting to come out of it, but thrips just wore this stuff out. I sprayed Intrepid Edge on it and they came right back in. Had to spray it again last week, sprayed with acephate because we were seeing some problems with 3-corner alfalfa hoppers. in parts of my field, and Intrepid Edge has no effect on 3-corner alfalfa hoppers, so we had to, you know, clean them up. Otherwise, we were going to suffer a reduced stand. So, but anyway, our replanted cotton, we got a fabulous stand. It's just so far behind, it's not even funny. You know, it was replanted after the optimum planting dates. Then all throughout wheat harvest, I mean, we had a very cool wheat harvest. I mean, there were some mornings I needed a jacket, and you know, cotton just not doing any kind of growing in that kind of situation. So, I mean, this cotton is probably at least 2.5 to 3 weeks behind where it needs to be. I mean, we're about 7-8 leaf cotton right there. If I had a microscope, I might be able to find the first square on there, but it's definitely far behind. We need an extended growing season, we need a hot summer, and we need rainfall for this cotton to try and play catch up. If we have a normal summer, we're just not going to have good cotton yields this year. But anyway, with the temperatures this week, this cotton's going to get up and go. Hopefully do a little bit of playing catch up. We're gonna get this Nutritia sprayed, and then we got a cornfield over there of 118-day corn. Going to spray probably a big swath out in the middle of it. Got another cotton field over there with some older replanted cotton. It's a little bit farther along. We're gonna spray a few strips out of there, and then probably later this summer, I'm gonna see if I can get my drone out here and get a bird's eye view and see if I can see any differences in where I sprayed versus where I haven't sprayed. See if there's any kind of visual response. All right, we're out here in our early cotton, our non-replanted cotton. Had to stop and do a little bit of pigweed eradication here. So I thought I'd stop and give you a look at what all of our cotton should look like at this point in time this year. But as you've seen from previous clips, it doesn't. Yep, this is what it all should look like if it had all come up and I didn't have to replant. This is the very first field of cotton that we planted on May 8th. Phytogen 360 came up to a phenomenal stand. Looks beautiful, and it still looks good. Now, for some of you with a critical eye, you might notice, man, some of that just doesn't look good. Well, that's where we had to come in last week and spray herbicide. We sprayed Sequence over the top of this, which has got Dual in there, and Dual does tend to burn cotton a little bit. But as you can tell, you know, it's all cosmetic. It's growing back out of it, and it is looking good. And what we're out here spraying for today is plant bugs. Kind of funny, last week on our replanted cotton, we were spraying for thrips. This week on our old cotton, we're spraying for plant bugs. That's the way it is with cotton. You always spraying something. But let me look around in some of these plants, see if I can show you some early fruiting structures, the first squares. Oh yeah, yeah, we got a bunch here. See that right there? That's a square, first fruiting structure. More right here on up the plant, and this is what we're trying to protect. These first squares on the plant are, these are what we call our money bowls. We don't want them to get eaten on by insects and get knocked off. We want to keep at least above an 80% retention rate of these first squares, because this is where our money comes from. They contribute more to yield than the ones higher up on the plant do. And this year, with the cool June that we had up until now, we need to protect every single one, because there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to mature out the ones that come on higher up on the plant. And also you look at the distance between nodes. This cotton's starting to get a little leggy, so we're putting out 1.5 ounces of Mepec 6X, which is a super concentrated formula of mepicquat chloride. It's equivalent to about 8-9 ounces of the old mepicquat chloride. So putting a growth regulator on here just to keep this cotton in check. We want to try and keep this cotton compact, keep the distance in between nodes about, you know, preferably around 2-3 inches between nodes max. And I've been telling myself for the last several years, I'm gonna be more aggressive with my plant growth regulator. You know, I'm always worried about putting it out this early and then shutting the cotton down, and then it not lapping the middles, and then you know, having poor weed control and stuff. But it always seems like I wait about a week to 2 weeks too late to put my first shot on, and then we're hammering the cotton to shut it down. It gets too leggy or whatever, so I told myself this year we're going to change it up. And also we're trying to send that cotton into as much reproductive mode as possible and limit the vegetative growth it's got, because you know, we're later in the growing season. Not necessarily on this cotton. This cotton is fine. We can make some fantastic yield on this, but all the rest of my cotton, we're gonna be super aggressive with plant growth regulators. So I don't think we're gonna see a bloom out here by the 4th of July like we'd like to, but I don't think it's gonna be very long afterwards. Yeah, we got a crew down there just got done cutting wheat for the year, I think. This field was their last field, and they moving on back. Hadn't seen Kelly or Andy in this video. Andy's been back at the shop cleaning up equipment. He's already got the grain buggy cleaned up and parked, tractor cleaned up, duals taken off, because he's going to spread fertilizer on cotton later this week. Got the header cleaned up and about to get started on the combine. And I get done with this spraying here, I'll be back there helping him out, and I'll finish up cleaning equipment later on. Oh, and one other thing, I always seem to forget it, but if you want to support our farm, you know, we do have merchandise now. See this shirt I'm wearing, hat I'm wearing, stuff wears real well, good high quality, reasonable prices. Just go to farmmerchbin.com. Click on the Griggs Farms link and the Shop Now link, and not only will you be supporting us as a farm, you also be supporting another local family-owned business in Gleason who is responsible for actually making these products, taking orders, and shipping them out. So I encourage you, if you're interested in wearing the Griggs Farms logo, go hit that store up, and they'll get a product out to you real soon. Not only do we have hats and shirts, got tumblers, keychains, license plates, and a bunch of other things. So I'm sure if you visit, you'll find something that you like. So anyway. The one job everybody loves to fight over, and that's why I became a farmer, so I could blow off a combine. All right guys, well, the wheat harvested and the crops temporarily laid by for this week anyway. We got a whole bunch of chores we got to do. Starting off with that. I see you're not in your normal work attire this morning.
Yeah, my fuzzy Crocs got a little too wet yesterday.
So I guess that means you plan on doing some washing today?
We're gonna get down in there and as nasty as we can, make it clean, I guess. See how good this outfit takes it.
Andy's already got the grain buggy cleaned up, parked, already got the header cleaned up and parked, and next step on the process is going to be the combine, and one more hot day in the sun, then you'll be in the AC tomorrow spreading fertilizer. So
sounds like a plan to me.
All right, well, Andy, working on the combine, I got several things I got to do. I got to get data downloaded off the planner, uploaded onto the computer for my software, get my records in order. Andy's already got the duals pulled off of his tractor. We got to get it hooked up to the fertilizer buggy to go so we can start spreading fertilizer on cotton tomorrow. And then I've got some crop reporting to do that I dread every single year. Well, your job came to a standstill real quick, didn't it?
I broke it. Yeah, can't wash it without water, I guess.
Yep. He was washing, all of a sudden lost water pressure. Checked everything out up there at the well. Got 240 going down in the well, but we got nothing coming out.
Yep.
I really don't want to pull it. I called somebody, but they didn't sound like they were going to be able to come out here today. Then I started to ask them, well, do y'all sell pumps? I might just pull it myself. And she changed her tune real quick. Said she's trying to see if she can get somebody out here today, but she's going to call me back. But if she doesn't, you get to learn how to pull a well today.
Hey, that's fine too.
I really don't want to, because that sucker is heavy.
I helped my dad one day do it, and man, I don't miss it. That's for sure. But
we need water out here though,
yes,
and we can't wait around a couple days. So
yes, we do. The good thing is it may not sit too dry the whole time. It looks like it. The sky may wash it a little bit.
we can hope.
Maybe.
I don't have confidence
It's
though.
only gonna rain when we're pulling the well up and messing with electricity.
Well, hey, if that's what it takes to buy rain, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, let me wait and see what they say. All right, no way anybody can get out here today, and we really need water, so go up here and inspect things, and might pull it ourselves. No, I don't want to, because it's got like a 1.5 horse motor on the bottom of that well, and it's like 250 feet deep. And I've pulled it before. I'm not looking forward to the recovery time if we gotta pull it again. All right, I've already tested power to make sure we're getting 240 going down into the well. Oh heck, I forgot about the pressure switch. Maybe with any luck, that's what our problem is. Oh yeah, that's probably most definitely the problem. Look, that contact right there is burned up. That one just came apart. It's not even making contact, so at best it's only sending 120 down there. Looks like we might have lucked out. I don't mind replacing the pressure switch. That'd be real easy. All right, you ready? Got a new switch. What?
I don't have water yet.
I ain't got it on yet.
All right, that's good news.
I got a new pressure switch wired up. I hear something. Oh, might need to hook that up to my pressure switch there. All right, got the line of my switch back on. Try it again, take two.
All right.
Well, you guys got to fill the pressure tank up first.
There we go.
Oh, what you got, flow? What you got, flow?
At the bottom of the well water.
Take a big old swallow of that. That's the best water you'll ever taste. Words cannot express how happy I am that that's all it was and we didn't have to pull this well pump. All right, looks like you can go back to taking a bath washing the combine.
Woohoo! Let's get back.